everybody, it's me, Heather. So full disclosure before we begin this entire video, I just want to say that these are all theories. These are not proven facts. These are not, these are not confirmed by Tyler nor Josh. So they're not, accurate. But these are just little tidbits of different Easter eggs I've seen in different videos and the different songs that Trench has given us. So basically, the entirety of Trench starts off from Jumpsuit, and we get this we were given the three singles that we were given were supposed to be a perpetual loop of a storyline, or should I say the beginning of a storyline, which the rest of the album Trench portrays quite nicely. So anyway, the beginning song, the beginning, track, the beginning video is Tyler being in Trench. So he wakes up and he's in Trench. So to me, this entire beginning song, it shows him where he's laying on the ground and he's holding this flower. Now, trigger warning, I am going to be using the word deaths, suicide, and a couple of other of those triggering words. So if you have any problem with those words, please do not watch this video. If not, please move forward. But anyway, so I believe that Tyler Joseph has faked his own death in a sense that he wants to change himself from the Blurryface era, and he wants to get away from the idea of, being in that pigeon-held, oh, he's the guy that sings, he's the guy that sings Stressed Out, or he's the guy that is Blurryface. That's not the point. The point is, I think he's trying to evolve, and he wants to grow, and he wants to do better for himself, and he wants to try to make himself seem like there's more out there. He wants to do more. He wants to be more. He wants to be more than just Vessel or Blurryface or Trench. He wants to be more than that. So in the beginning, I feel like he's stuck in Trench because he's got so many different things around him that he doesn't understand what's going on, and he doesn't know how to portray them. He doesn't know how to get them out. So he just screams. So that's why during a lot of the songs, there's a lot of reverb. And reverb is the echo that we hear, the softest echo could be something to make it through. Excuse me, I can't focus on song lyrics and think at the same time. Please excuse me. But anyway, that line, in my opinion, is very crucial to the entirety of Trench. Now, the reason I say that is because I feel like Trench is this world that Tyler has created for us and for himself. It's like a creative wasteland, more or less. It's this idea of trying to get away from monotony. It's this idea of trying to forego the whole you need to be in one certain genre. It's this idea of let's think outside the box. Let's be a different person. Let's be a different persona. And to me, that's what I feel Clancy is I feel like Clancy is this idea, this concept that he's trying to become someone else. He is Clancy, but also he is still Tyler, if that makes any sense. I think that he faked his death towards Blurryface because he wanted to move away from Nico. He wanted to get away from all of that. He wanted to become his own person again. He wanted to try to defeat the depression. He wanted to, quote unquote, morph. He wanted to evolve. He wanted to change. And I feel like that's why it is such a critical song in the entire, it's a critical song for the entire album, just like Chlorine, and I believe Bandito, Cut My Lip, and Leave This City. I believe all of those, and Neon Gravestones as well, but for a different pivotal reason, and I'll get to that in a minute. And I believe that he's wanting to change this persona, and he wants to give himself something different. That's why it is the complete opposite from where we see Blurryface, which is reds and blacks and whites, and you see very dark kind of macabre colors. And then we come in with Trench, and Trench has all these different colors that are very, very desaturated, but they're very vibrant, if that makes any sense. Like, there's a lot of bright colors. Like, the yellow is very significant in the World Trench, of course. So to me, I feel like this vast wasteland of nothing that Tyler has created also created everything. I believe that's what his theory of God is as well. This vast theory of being nobody can also be this entity of everything, this entity of anything that he wanted to create. Which is why when he explains in Bandito, where he says, I've created this world to feel some control, destroy it if I want, so I'll sing Salo Falina. In my opinion, that right there is also another pivotal moment in that song, Bandito, because it explains so much and so little at the exact same time. Because we don't know what Salo Falina meant. We didn't know until they had the AMA the other day. So we didn't know what that meant. We could only theorize of a possibility. But it's what the Banditos call out for help. So now that we know that that's more of what they considered a safe phrase or a safe word. So I feel like please excuse my dog in the background. Anyway, I feel like that's what are you doing? Excuse me. So anyway, I feel like the whole album is pretty much Tyler going on this journey, this mental idea of being someone completely different from what he was. He's evolving, he's changing, he's growing, he's morphing into someone differently, or into someone different. And I believe that that's where Clancy comes in. Clancy is Tyler's reincarnated version of himself. It's the better version, if that makes any sense. So we get this idea of Dima and Clancy and the Vultures and the Bishops. And I feel like this is where we come into, so many different things like Chlorine, where he's trying to fight with himself, and he's got so many internal demons that he's fighting with and that he's trying to overcome, that he's not letting himself feel these different emotions that he needs to feel. So that's why I think he also brings together the song Legend. I believe that's why the song Neon Gravestones and the song Leave the City are so important, because they help him release the emotion that he needs to feel in order for this idyllic wasteland of his to grab hold and mean something to him. because it means something to him, but not in the sense that it actually does anything to help, if that makes sense. Because he takes this idea of everyone trying to grow and trying to get better, and he's still fighting with his own thoughts, like, how can you say you need to get better, but inside you're still not better? Like, you tell your friend or something like that, please don't be sad, it's gonna be okay, I'm here for you. But then you, on the same spectrum, are very depressed and very upset with your own trials and tribulations and own, issues and stuff like that. So we'll go back to the part in we'll go back to the phrase that he said before, we're broken people. And I like that phrase. And it's not in Trench, but it's a very good phrase, because the way Tyler puts his lyrics together to create this confused kind of sense of bewilderment, it pulls it all together. And it makes a storyline. And not just a storyline for one or two albums, but for me, it stretches more than just Trench. It stretches more than just Blurryface. It goes beyond that, because I believe Tyler has been telling us his story ever since we first listened to No Fun Intended. And I believe that he will continue to tell his story to us, and we will be able to continuously relate to what he is saying, because I feel like he doesn't have this syllabus that he needs to follow. He doesn't have this roster that he needs to, okay, I have this checklist that I need to check off. Have I talked about suicide? Check. Have I talked about gay marriage? Check. Have I talked about, politics? Check. He doesn't have any of that. If he wants to, he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't have to be afraid of going for it full force. And I think that's what, I believe that's what Nico and the Niners, Neon Gravestones, and Pet Cheetah are talking about, because those three songs are very screw you to the industry. If you can say it that way, that's what it is. And as much as I'd love to say that Pet Cheetah is perfect, I feel like there's so many different things that could be different. If it doesn't make anything bad, that I feel like there could be some more things that he could have done to that song. Because yes, I love the song, I love the lyrics, I love the way he executed them, but just in my opinion, the repetition gets a little bit too under the skin. And I understand it. Please don't come for me. I love the song. Do not get me wrong. I absolutely love that song. But it could have been done a little bit differently. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, I feel like those songs are fuck you to the industry, pardon. And they're just, I'm going to write something, and I'm going to write something from my perspective and my heart. And if you don't like it, then that's okay, because you don't have to. I have these people, I have this group, I have this community, this clique that has fallen in love with our music. Not just my music, not just Josh's music, not just, it's not just our music, it's our music. It's, as Tyler has said before, we are 21 Pilots, and so are you. It's so true, because we are the life force behind the popularity that has given Josh and Tyler so much love and credibility and acceptance for who they are, regardless of their religion or their, their political stance or how they feel about certain subjects. We can definitively say that they are our band and we are their fan base and their community, not just some bullshit excuse as, oh yeah, those are my fans, they provide me with money and the things I need to live. Yes, they realize that, they recognize that, and they are okay with that, but they also understand that we're not just those people. We are way more than that. And that's why I think, that's one of the reasons I think that in Pet Cheetah, when Tyler says, this click means so much to this dude, he could be afraid to death to lose us or to lose it. It kind of makes me feel like he's like for lack of a better word, he's like a father figure to a lot of us. Or a family figure, if I can say that. But the entire album, I'm running on a tangent here, I'm sorry. But to make the long story completely, back to full circle, I believe Trench is about Tyler letting go of Blurryface and defeating him in a way that is not completely finished, but it's finished for now. And I think if everyone looks at Blurryface and looks at the comparisons and contrasts between the album Blurryface and the album Trench, we get polar opposites. But it's still the same. He's still struggling. He's still fighting. He's still trying to grab onto this concept of what happens next. What happens now. And I find that absolutely beautiful. I don't think there is anyone in today's music or even in further, in past songs or past artists or anything quite like 21 Pilots, because I believe that they are their own entity. I believe that they are their own music. I believe that Tyler's lyrics are absolutely perfect for him. I believe that as a person, Tyler's lyrics do not just tell a story. They create this autobiography that spans more than just one or two lives, or one or two instances that has happened in his life. This spans so many different things, and to me, I feel like that's absolutely amazing. I feel like Neon Gravestones, the final song I want to talk about is Neon Gravestones. Now, this song is a very delicate song to listen to. It's a very hard song to listen to. It is a very, very open and very honest song to listen to. Tyler did not have to do what he did. He did not have to say what he did. Now, yes, there are a lot of people that are out there that have, they want to say, oh, I care about you and I love you. But when the time comes, I don't know if they really do. But Tyler and Josh, they both seem very genuine. Even though they're very shy, I believe that both of them have very, very nice ways of going about things. So, and they care about us. And that's why I think Tyler wrote Neon Gravestones, because he wanted us to know that yes, life is going to be hard. Life is going to throw you some pretty pretty shitty situations. But you have to push through them, because not only are you going to be the one that has, you know, it's not a fix. It's not, you know, it's not bad that you've done what you did, but it is bad because you left. Now you've left and everyone else is here picking up the pieces that you left. And it's scary. And I know this firsthand because I've lost several people to suicide, and it's very hard to deal with. So, in all, I think the entirety of Trench is about self-exploration and about